Hey guys, I'm Nikki Dinky, welcome to my kitchen. So I feel like I'm always saying to my husband, you know, I have an idea. I have all these ideas when it comes to cooking and recipes, and you know what? Sometimes they work out and they work out great, and sometimes they just don't work. Well, this one worked out so perfectly, I must say I'm a little proud of myself. I'm about to show you my cookie dough truffles. They're 3 ingredients. They're one of the most delicious desserts you may ever have, and they're super, super easy. So stick with me, I'm gonna show you my cookie dough truffles. 2 out of the 3 ingredients are used to make that beautiful cookie dough filling. Oh, it's so good. I know I say that all the time, but it's so good, and it's so easy. So to make the cookie dough filling, we're gonna use our chocolate chip cookies. Now these are the Entenmann's just original recipe chocolate chip cookies. It's a 12-ounce box. Now I'm gonna use half of this today. I'm gonna make a half recipe, but you would just double all of this for a full recipe. Now if you're not using the Entenmann's chocolate chip cookies, you can use a different kind of cookie. You just have to take the next step kind of slow. So with half of these cookies, I'm gonna be adding in 2 ounces of cream cheese, and that's gonna create our dough-like filling. If you are not using Entenmann's, kind of depends on how much moisture is in your cookie. If you're using a cookie that's a lot harder, you're gonna need more cream cheese. Even softer, you're gonna need less cream cheese. So what I recommend, and you can do this with any cookie, just put the cookies in first, pulse those up, and then slowly add the cream cheese so that you can get it to the consistency that you want, which may be a little bit more or a little bit less than what I'm doing with the Entenmann's. It's really nice and combined, it's nice and smooth. You could leave it a little chunkier if you wanted to. Sometimes you get like kind of a bite of the actual cookie within there, which is kind of neat. You could even add in some like mini chocolate chips, that'd be kind of fun. But I like the smooth consistency texture, it's very truffle-like, so I'm gonna keep mine like this. Now this batter or dough, whatever you want to call it, it's a little bit looser than let's say the Oreo truffle filling that I've made before. So I really want to chill this down before I start working with it. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer. Freezer is just faster, so I like things that are fast. So I'm gonna put this in a bowl, get it in the freezer, and once it's a little bit harder, then I can start rolling it into my balls. So it was in the freezer for like 15 minutes. You know, some parts are a little harder than others, but it's a lot more moldable. So I'm gonna take these, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it out into nice little, you know, maybe 1-inch balls. You could do a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. And then I'm gonna put them on a plate and put them back in the freezer. The next step to this is to dip these in some really, you know, nice melted chocolate. And if these are too soft, when I put them in the chocolate, they're gonna just fall apart. So once you get these all rolled out into nice balls, you really wanna put them in the freezer until they're pretty solid. So let me roll these out, and I will have cookie dough truffles before you know it. While those get hard in the freezer, no reason to not work on melting up our chocolate. That way we'll be ready to go and we'll have them before you know it. So I've got a double boiler here, which if that suddenly scares you and you're thinking, oh, I don't have a double boiler, it's really okay, I bet you do. A double boiler is just a kind of fancy word or name for a pot with a little bit of water in it and a glass or metal bowl sitting on the top of it. What's happening here is that the water is simmering and you know it's just kind of gently heating this bottom of this bowl. So when we put our chocolate in here, it kind of just gently melts, which is really good for chocolate because if you start to cook chocolate at too high of a temperature, it starts to seize up and gets all grainy, it's gross. So I'm gonna put in about 5 to 6 ounces of chocolate for my half recipe. You want about 10 to 12 ounces for your full recipe. Once it gets all kind of nice and melted and wonderful, hopefully those will be ready to go and we can start really just dipping them in and laying them out. our chocolate's almost ready to go. The truffles are nice and hard in the freezer. I've got a Silpat over here, which is just something that doesn't allow anything to stick to it. So you could use parchment paper, you could even just use this cookie sheet and spray it down heavily with a lot of like cooking spray. The idea is that we've got melted chocolate here and we're gonna put it on this surface and it's gonna re-harden. So we wanna make sure that we can get it off of this surface. So I am going to put my truffles in the chocolate. I'm gonna move it around with my fork, and when I dig it out, I'm gonna give it a really nice hard tap. I wanna get the excess chocolate off of it, because if there's too much chocolate on the outside, it's gonna kind of pool underneath and it's not gonna be nice and round and beautiful. My only other trick for you is to use a nice long tonged fork, so you have a real opportunity to tap it and a lot of places for the chocolate to fall off. And I'm gonna use a toothpick just to slide it off. Kind of make sure that the part that you're seeing is nice and round and not messed with trying to get it off your fork. It might take some practice, but I promise, even if they don't look super professional, they will taste super professional. Now, I know there's quite a bit of waiting in this recipe. It's easy, but you gotta wait for the dough to chill, and then you roll it out and you gotta wait again for it to chill. Well, the one good thing is, after you dip it in that chocolate, it chills up in the fridge in a second. And before you know it, you get these guys. Oh, they're so good. Now, I put a little extra drizzle of chocolate on the top, just to kind of make it look pretty. You could put some mini chocolate chips on, or really any kind of decoration that you like. That could be a really fun thing to get the family involved in. And now I like to eat mine directly out of the fridge. I like the little extra crunch of the kind of hard chocolate, but you could eat these warm, hot, cold, anywhere in between, and they're gonna be delicious. So please try this one. Always remember to have fun in the kitchen, and I'll see you guys next time.